So this is run 1,250 out of 1,250. This is the final run of the comparison that I was doing between Dragon's b10 and Dragon's b12. This is going to finish up here in a few moments, and as soon as this finishes, I'm going to craft the runes that I have gotten, the rune pieces that I've gotten from this to ideally create some, hopefully some nice violent runes, most likely not, but I've recorded all the stats for this in the same spreadsheet on a different tab, and we'll show a comparison for them after I finish this. Once again, hopefully this helps some people make some decisions about which one is which dungeon's better for them to run. So I went ahead and recorded all the information from here into the spreadsheet for the final set of runs here. And for that dungeon, I'm using a pretty standard team. I'm using Verd on Rage Blade, attack, crit damage, attack, and on 100% crit rate, as well as Tricaru, often referred to as Tricaru or Tricaru. They're buried in here somewhere or other. There they are. They're all running roughly the same thing. I've tried to buff their attack up as much as possible. I could use to eventually do that if I continue to run this. They're on all of them are on some combination of either the determination set, the guard set, and focus. That being said, they all look somewhere around. You can find stat charts for what you need to build this across Reddit if you so need it, but this team's pretty old. It's pretty standard. There's 1, 2, and 3. Nothing overly impressive or fancy about it. It's just efficient and effective. Crafting the runes real fast here. Let's see what comes up here. So this is high grade runes. Want violent. I have farmed a ton of these, so this is quite a few crafts, and see what happens. Hoping for at least a couple legendary chances. That'd be awesome. And this looks like all garbage. Next. Wow, that was horrible. Oh, there's a chance for something, two chances or something nice here. Check those last. Yeah, that's all garbage. There's such low rolls, minimum rolls, and its defense. It doesn't have overly great synergy. If that was HP, that would be, it's not even worth keeping. And that is garbage too. All right, they're all gone. Two runes with potential. 2 runes to potentially check is probably more accurate. Nope. And that's unfortunate. I probably could have rolled that last one to see what would happen, but no, that's garbage. Three runes to look at. These can all just go immediately. No speed. No. And that's awful. All right, I got 2 of these left here. Nope. One rune to check. Everything else I don't even need to look at. I just cannot see that being useful for anything, so it's gone. Oh, there's another room with some potential. We'll check that last. Nope, that's... I check the blue ones for just speed and crit rate. Sometimes you get lucky, but... Okay. This rune actually has some potential. Let's go ahead and just power this up to 12, see what it looks like. 2 minimum rolls into speed. That's horrible. It's gone. Alright. That's unfortunate. I will go ahead and here in a few moments you will see this transferred over to the spreadsheet, and I'm going to compare the 2 run series. So this is the same spreadsheet that I was using previously for the Dragon's b12 runs. This is the same data collected. And I've added another sheet for Dragon's b10. And I have recorded the exact same information minus intangible runes. That being said, I've highlighted 3 important points, one being far less important. This is just my stopping point, which was at 1,250 runs. The point at which the runs were the same amount, which is 1,000 runs each, and the amount at which the energy spent on the runs is the same, being 1,130. It's a little over, and you'll see if we go ahead and it's cost 9,000 energy for 1,000 b12 runs and 8,000 energy for 1,000 b10 runs. You have 1,000 energy difference, so you take 1,000 and you divide it by what? Well, how many? It costs 8 energy to enter, so divided by 8 should be 125. 125. So that means I can do 125 extra runs. That is this right here. I did not stop at 125. I recorded at 130 as I did for everything, and I kept going a little bit beyond that. That being said, this and this are the 2 important points, and I've copied those points as well as the final data from down here over into the comparison sheet. That being said, on the comparison sheet here, you can see Dragon's b12 is on top in both cases. We'll start by comparing the 1,000 runs. This is at perfectly even runs. Mana is about the same. Legendary is clearly better in Dragon's b12. Intangible runes don't drop in b10. Epic runes were almost double, and I think that's very useful. Rare runes are about... they basically flip places with epic runes from b12 to b10, which is very useful. That being said, rune pieces, there were less rune pieces but more dragon pieces. The total runes, there were more total runes found in b12 compared to b10, at least at 1,000 runs. And there were, of those total runes, there was less sold. By that I mean I kept 17 runes here, and here I kept 10. Mana is a little bit, because there's more epic runes, mana is more. You got about 1.3 million more here from b12. Clear time is literally, for me at least, is literally double. b12 took around 2,000, and b10 took around 1,000. My b10 time, or b10 team, takes around 55 seconds. My b12 team takes between 1 minute and 30 seconds and 2 minutes, and it averages out just around 2 minutes, I guess, or like 1 minute and 50 seconds. Even with the Lauren AI update, she does not seem to be more accurate stripping, but I'll have to run more because I've only done a couple since the update. I've mostly been focused on the b10 and finishing this. There are more Rainbow Mon 3-star from the b12. It wasn't that much of a difference. Another thing, 4-star thought this was a bit weird. 4-star was almost a double. Unknown scrolls, more in b12. Engraved, less in b12. Mystical scrolls, less in b12. And transcendence, transmog pieces, sorry, less in b12. And that could just be luck, and those numbers can be these numbers are strange to me. I'm not overly sure what to make of them, but this is a valid comparison. Just comparing I should say that's a direct comparison between the two dungeons. This is a more of an accurate comparison. This is energy per energy, spending 9,000 energy on both. This one technically spent a couple energy more, but not much to make a difference. Mana from b10 then becomes more. Legendary runes are closer to evening out. Intangible runes don't drop. The epic runes start to converge a little bit here, and the rare runes are obviously going to keep increasing. Rune pieces went up considerably, and then the b10 then passed Dragon's b12 for Dragon's pieces as well. Had a lot more total runes. I still ended up keeping more runes out of Dragon's b12 than I did from Dragon's b10. Mana, about almost a 1.5 million difference from the two runs. Clear time is about 800 minutes less. Rainbow Mon are evening out. 4-stars are going up. Unknown scrolls evening out. Engraved are increasing. Mystical and transmog pieces remain the same. That being said, there's one more thing we could do here. I can do here to see how interesting this would be. We could take this technically, right? If this is how long it took to run 1,000, right? And if I go like this, I'll move this down here. I'm just going to copy this whole thing down. And then I'm going to we're going to extrapolate this information here just a little bit. So I'm going to take everything that was here and just multiply it by 2. And drag it across this entire row. So this is comparing, and once again, this is extrapolating data, so this is hypothetical, but if you are not free to play and you just want to farm as fast as possible, and I imagine people have even faster Tricaru teams than I do, being mine is between 50 to 55 seconds. The time is just roughly the same. So if you have the resources to, if you are not free to play, and you have the money to pour into the game, I think in that case it would be. I mean, you're getting estimate 46-ish. 46 would be the doubled amount. You would have a lot more epic runes, a lot more. It just, I don't think it's close. If you're not free to play and you have the money to spend the energy, I think it's probably far more valuable to do b10. But I think that also depends on how consistent your b12 team is. Once again, my b12 team is about 2 minute team on average, and my b10 team is a 1 minute team on average. Now, if you have a consistent 1 minute b12 team, clearly that's going to be the more efficient way to go. I would imagine based on the data that I've gathered. Being a free to play player myself, I think that b12 might be the way to go. But I would also say that that is only true if you have a consistent team. If your team is not consistent, I'd say that b10, if you have a consistent b10 team, it's probably better. Additionally, I think that if you're newer to the game and you're just starting out, that the b it'd probably be best to build a team for b12 using all free to play units, which is definitely doable. As it can also be used for b10. I think that's just more an effective use of your time. And then as you're building that, you can then since all those units are usable in other parts of the game too, you could then slowly work on building up a Tricaru. Take from this what you will. I found it interesting. As a result, I will probably be farming b12 for the most part, except for when there are events that involve running as many dungeons as possible. Then for me, just because of my team timing, b10 will be more efficient then, and then I'll work on trying to compress my b12 time down to average a minute 30 instead of averaging at 2 minutes. And I think that would change the stats that I gathered from doing this as well.